Worksheet number 4, specifically 4 questions, 5 questions on that worksheet. Questions 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Starting with number 5, it says a car traveling at a speed of 10 meters per second accelerates at a rate of 2.00 meters per second squared for 3 seconds. What's the final speed of the car if the car is speeding up, if the car is slowing down? What's the one difference between question A and B? Besides the answer, of course, what's the one difference between question A and B? Yeah. The acceleration. So what about the acceleration? Good. So one of them is positive, one of them is negative, right? When it's speeding up, assuming we're moving in the positive direction, which we can make this the positive direction, right? Whether it's east or west, we'll define it as the positive direction, and we'll say that acceleration is positive when we're speeding up and negative when we're slowing down. All right, let's write down some givens for question A here. Something's 10.0 meters per second. Neil, what's this 10.0 meters per second thing here? It's a velocity, right? But what velocity is it? Is it VI or VF? Good. That's the initial velocity, VI. We have a time interval here of 3.00 seconds. And we have an acceleration of 2.00 meters per second squared. That would be A, right? Is that positive or negative for question A? Jack, positive or negative for question A? Positive. Yes, good. We could put in a little positive sign or not, whatever. We're looking for the final speed here. We're looking for VF here. What do you want to do? What do you want to do for this? Is it group A or group B? Group B, yeah? Lane, what equation do you want to try for this? Keeping in mind, whenever I ask you this and it's a group B problem, you can't really give me a wrong answer unless you tell me V is equal to delta D over delta T. So don't tell me V equals delta D over delta T because that's wrong. But any of the other ones is not wrong. Now, some of the other ones might not be particularly efficient or useful, but they're not wrong. Okay? So Lane, which one do you want to try from group B there? VF squared? Okay, let's try that. VF squared is equal to VI squared plus 2AD. Absolutely valid equation. All of those group B ones are. Okay, let's try this. We're looking for VF. Okay, good. VI, got it. A, okay, we don't have D. Okay, so that might not be the quickest way to do it, but it's not wrong. We end up having 2 unknowns there, right? VF and D. Now, you could come up with another equation that might work a little bit better, or you could actually use another equation to solve for D, and then sub it into there. Does that make sense? Ken, what did you want to do?
The question we did above, we solved for.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the displacement? 39.0? Okay, and this one was? Okay, 21.0 meters. So even if we hadn't solved question 4, 21 you said? Even if we hadn't solved that, we could still do this exactly the same way, right? We could write this down and say, oh, I don't have D. Let's find D. Let's find displacement. However, we found displacement in question number 4. That would be absolutely valid, right? And you probably wrote down that equation because, I mean, I didn't see number 4 in front of me right now. You have number 4 in front of you. That's the way you did it because you already have the displacement. Okay, that's fine. That's just as efficient as the way that I was going to do it, you know, if you already have the displacement. Okay, so let's do it this way. We got to get VF by itself. How do we do that? Is there anything that's not attached to VF? Remember, get rid of what's not attached. Anything not attached? Nope. So get rid of what is attached. What is attached to it? Alex, what is attached to it? Right. So we're going to square root that to get rid of it, right? Becomes VF is equal to the square root of VI squared plus 2AD. A couple of people have asked me, like, is it okay to sub your numbers in and then rearrange it? Is it okay to do that? Sure it is. Why not? Like, as long as you show your work, what you're doing, it's okay to do it first or after. Doesn't really matter to me. All right, let's say VI is 10.0. Don't forget to square that. 2 times, what is it? 2.00 times the displacement of 39.0. And we got to square root that, right? So let's do that on our calculator. I told you guys yesterday, don't use brackets, right? Unless you're really, really good with brackets. Let's just make sure that we can get an answer, and then down the road, I'll show you how to use brackets on your calculator. Let's go 10 squared. Calculator's not working. All right. 10 squared is 100. Plus 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 39 is 78, 156. 156. So the square root of 100 plus 156, that's the square root of 256. And the square root of 256, give me a second here, is, don't tell me, the square root of 256 is, exactly, 16 meters per second. Look at that. Actually, going to be 16.0 meters per second, right? Good. Now, what's the only difference here between this and question B? Question B, we got a -2 there. So we're going to say VF is equal to the square root of, this would be 100. Uh-oh. Oh, no, never mind. 100 plus, that's 10 squared, right? Plus 2 times -2 times 21. Let's see if I can do better on this one. 2 times 2 is 4, 21. 4 times 21 is 84. So 100 minus 84 is 16. So this is going to be exactly 4.0. Is that right? Number 6. Puck moving on ice slows at a rate of 3.0 meters per second. Should say 3.00 meters per second squared due to friction. The puck is initially moving at 20 meters per second but comes to a stop. What's the displacement of the puck as it stops? Group A or Group B? Is Group A, taking Group A or Group B? Yeah, it's Group B. It's decelerating actually, but that's acceleration, right? What do we got here? We'll say A is 3.00, is that right? Jack or Sarah?
Would it be a negative acceleration?
Yeah, that would be a negative acceleration because it's slowing down. Good. What's this 20 meters per second? A velocity, right? But is that VI or is that VF? Pardon me? Yeah, that's good. That's VI. VF would be 0, right? Yeah, it comes to a stop. VF would be 0. We want to find the displacement here. Group B, any of those Group B equations are valid. Okay, I'm going to ask somebody right now. There's only one wrong answer here. 5 right answers, 1 wrong answer. Cam, what's one of the right answers? Okay. Okay, that's the one I would use as well, because I think that one is the most efficient for this problem, but they're all valid, except for V is equal to delta D over delta T. Let's rearrange that. Let's square root that to rearrange it. VI, oh wait, we're solving for displacement here, yes. What's the rule? Sam, what's the rule? Get rid of what is, not first, get rid of what is not what's attached, get rid of what is not attached, right? Get rid of what is not attached. What's not attached here? To the D, that is. What's not attached? Andrew, what's not attached to the D? Good. So how do we take it over? Good. So VF squared minus VI squared equals 2 times A times D. Jacob, you had your hand up there. What is attached? Good. And how do you get rid of that? Good. Take it over by dividing. Remember to divide everything, though, by the 2A. Don't just divide one of those terms by the 2A, the whole thing on that side. Does algebra kind of making sense to you? Yeah? Isn't that not better than that triangle? Like, seriously. Why don't we just learn this from the beginning instead of that silly little triangle, right? All right, what do we got here? VF, 0 squared minus 20 squared over 2 times A. Okay, I'm going to actually show you a little bit of brackets this time if my calculator will work, which it won't. Okay, never mind. Okay, I'll show you after we come back from the break how to use brackets on something like this then. 0 squared minus 20 squared is negative 400 on the top. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 400 divided by negative 6 would be 60. 66.6 or 66.7, I should say. And it's positive, right? Because negative divided by negative is a positive. Is that right? Oh, did I? Well, it shouldn't be negative. That would be silly. Because the puck doesn't go backwards, right? And negative means the puck goes backwards, right? Number 7. This ball is dropped from height at 20 meters. How fast is the ball moving when it strikes the ground? Group A, Group B. Group A or Group B, Marcel? Yeah, it's Group B because it's accelerating, which means that any of those 5 equations are right. The one equation, V equals delta t over delta t, is wrong. Unless we're asked for the average velocity, then we could use d over t, right? But unless we're asked for the average velocity, then like it's against the law for these questions here. What do we got here? Something's 20 meters. What do you want to call that? The height? Oh, we don't even have a height variable, do we? Yeah, we'll call it displacement. But I want to make it negative 20, actually. How come? How come, Xander? Yeah, because it's downwards, right? Falls downward. Is that all we got? Well, what's VI, Xander? Good. It's dropped. If it was thrown, VI wouldn't be 0. What's VF? VF is what we're looking for, right? Isn't it 0? Isn't it 0? How fast is it moving when it strikes the ground? 0. Doesn't it stop when it strikes the ground? Deal with that in a second here. There's one more thing that we do have here. Yeah. Aaron? What is it? Yeah. Yeah. Good. Negative 9.81 meters per second squared, right? How many people think VF should be 0? Like, that's not the answer I gave you, but shouldn't it be 0? Yeah? Which of our group B equations do we want to use here to solve for VF, which is not 0? Beth, which one do you want to try? Okay, that's probably the one that I would try here as well. VF squared is equal to VI squared plus 2AD. We're solving for VF here. So this one's a pretty easy one to rearrange for, actually. Right? The only thing we got to get rid of is the square. And how do we get rid of the square? Square root it, right? So it becomes VF. Oh, look, VI is 0. We can just X that out if we want, right? Because it's 0. Makes it a little bit easier here. VF is the square root of 2 times A times D. Or, as some of you like to do, sub your numbers in and then rearrange it. 2 times negative 9.81 times negative 20. Get that number. Like, press equals on your calculator. Get that number. By the way, it's going to be positive, right? Negative times the negative is positive, and then you square root it. When you do that, you should get, what do I have here? I said negative 19.8 for my answer. Technically, actually, you're looking for how fast it's moving. 19.8 would be fine. You wouldn't have to put the negative in there because it didn't say what's the velocity. It just said how fast is it moving, right? Now, I wouldn't mark it wrong if you said negative because it is negative, but you just didn't need the direction with that. 8. Oh my goodness. Time's almost done. Let's skip 8 actually, just because I really want to go over number 10 here, okay? And if we have time, we'll go back to number 8. Okay, number 10 says a ball was thrown up into the air at a speed of 15 meters per second, the maximum height that the ball will attain here. What do we have here? VI is 15.0, positive because it's upward. A is, Alyssa, what's A? Yep, negative 9.81 meters per second squared. Is that all we got? Maximum height? What would that be? Maximum height. Displacement, yeah. Oh, there's one more thing that we so need to put in here, Sawyer. Yes. Now, some of you are like, VF 0? No, it's not. Like, it goes up and comes back down, right? It's not 0 when it hits ground. We're not analyzing the whole trip up and down. We're analyzing the trip up. As this ball goes up into the air, what happens to it? It slows down, slows down, slows down, slows down, and stops. And then speeds up, speeds up, speeds up. We're only analyzing the trip up. If we're only analyzing the trip up, then VF would be 0. I'm going to, I think for this one, again, use this equation. VF squared is equal to VI squared plus 2AD. We're looking for D, get rid of what's not attached. Get rid of what's not attached. What is not attached here? What's not, what is it? Okay, so take that over by subtracting. Good. VF squared minus VI squared equals 2AD. Now we got to get rid of the 2 in the A by dividing. So it becomes VF squared minus VI squared over 2A. 0 squared minus 15 squared over 2 times negative 9.81. So I get negative 225 on the top over negative 19.62 on the bottom. And that gives me, what did I say for 10? I said negative 5.89 meters per second? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, I gave you the answer number 11. What is it, 11.5? That's why you guys needed that gone over.